History isn't just about kings, wars, and inventions. It's filled with weird, hilarious, and downright unbelievable moments that most textbooks skip. From dancing plagues to exploding trousers, the past has no shortage of surprises. Today, we're diving into 25 random and bizarre history facts that prove truth really is stranger than fiction. Sit back, because by the end, you'll see the world's past in a whole new light. 1. The Great Emu War, 1932. In 1932, Australia literally declared war on emus. The massive flightless birds were destroying crops, so the military brought machine guns to the fields. But the emus outran the soldiers and won. After several failed attempts, the humans surrendered. The Emu War ended with a victory for the birds and a permanent place in history's Hall of Absurdity. 2. Napoleon was attacked by bunnies. During a hunting party, Napoleon Bonaparte ordered hundreds of rabbits released for sport. But the gamekeeper bought tame, farm-raised ones, and when freed, they rushed toward Napoleon expecting food. The emperor's guards fled in laughter as he was swarmed by fluffy attackers. Even the world's greatest generals couldn't defeat a determined army of bunnies. 3. The Dancing Plague of 1518. In Strasbourg, hundreds of people began dancing uncontrollably in the streets for days. Some reportedly collapsed and died from exhaustion. Doctors couldn't explain it. They thought it was hot blood. Modern theories suggest mass hysteria or contaminated bread. Whatever the cause, it remains one of history's strangest mass events. 4th, Pope Gregory IX and the Cat Massacre. In the 13th century, Pope Gregory IX declared that black cats were agents of the devil. Across Europe, people began killing them by the thousands. Ironically, this may have worsened the Black Death a century later, because fewer cats meant more rats to spread the plague. Superstition had deadly consequences. 5. The Exploding Pants of New Zealand. In the 1930s, New Zealand farmers used a chemical weed killer called sodium chlorate. It worked, but was highly flammable. Farmers soon discovered their trousers could suddenly burst into flames after exposure. Exploding pants syndrome became so common that newspapers warned readers to hang clothes far from open fires. 6. President Andrew Jackson's giant cheese. In 1837, U.S. President Andrew Jackson hosted a public party at the White House featuring a massive 1,400-pound wheel of cheese. Guests ate it all in 2 hours, leaving behind a smell that lingered for months. The event became legendary and even inspired a running joke in modern TV shows. 7. Cleopatra lived closer to us than to the pyramids. It sounds unbelievable, but Cleopatra lived around 2,000 years ago, while the Great Pyramid of Giza was built about 4,500 years ago. That means she's closer in time to today's astronauts than to Egypt's first pyramid builders. It's a reminder of just how long human civilization truly is. 8. The Cadaver Synod, 897 AD. In one of the Catholic Church's strangest moments, Pope Stephen VI put the corpse of a previous pope, Formosus, on trial. The dead pope was dressed in his robes, seated in court, and found guilty. His body was mutilated and thrown into the Tiber River. It was a darkly comic chapter of medieval politics. 9. The Great Molasses Flood, 1919. In Boston, a massive storage tank holding 2 million gallons of molasses exploded, sending a sticky wave through the streets. It destroyed buildings and killed 21 people. Witnesses said the molasses moved like a brown tsunami. To this day, on hot days, the area reportedly still smells faintly sweet. 10. Einstein's brain was stolen. When Albert Einstein died in 1955, the pathologist who performed his autopsy stole his brain without permission. He kept it in jars for decades, slicing it into samples to study. Einstein's family later forgave him, but the image of the world's greatest mind being carried in a trunk remains deeply bizarre. 11. The Phantom Time Hypothesis. Some historians once suggested that about 300 years of the Middle Ages, roughly 614 to 911 AD, never actually happened. They claimed our calendars were tampered with by medieval rulers like Emperor Otto III. While completely untrue, the theory highlights how fragile our sense of time and history can be. 12. A war lasted only 38 minutes. The Anglo-Zanzibar War of 1896 is the shortest war in history. When the Sultan of Zanzibar refused to step down, British forces bombarded his palace. After just 38 minutes, he surrendered. The brief conflict cost over 500 Zanzibaris their lives, proving that even tiny wars can leave big consequences. 13. The corpse of Jeremy Bentham attends meetings. Philosopher Jeremy Bentham requested that his body be preserved and displayed after death. Today, his dressed skeleton, with a wax head, still sits in a glass case at University College London. They even wheel him into certain meetings, recorded in attendance as present but not voting. 14. The day it rained. Meat. In 1876, Kentucky chunks of raw meat fell from the sky. Witnesses described pieces landing across a farmyard. Scientists later concluded it was likely vultures vomiting mid-flight. Still, locals nicknamed it the Kentucky Meat Shower. Some brave souls even tasted the mysterious sky meat. 15. Peter the Great's beard. Taxed in the 1600s, Russian Tsar. Peter the Great wanted his people to appear more modern, so he taxed beards. Men who refused to shave had to pay for a coin proving they'd paid the beard tax. Those who couldn't afford it had their beards forcibly removed in public. Grooming became government business. 16. The London Beer Flood, 1814. A giant vat at the Moo Brewery in London burst, flooding nearby streets with 323,000 gallons of beer. Buildings collapsed and several people drowned. Crowds rushed in to scoop up the drink with pots and pans. What began as a tragedy soon became a legendary drunken disaster. 17. A pope once declared a cat to be the Antichrist. Medieval Europe loved a good superstition. One pope declared that black cats were connected to witchcraft and Satan himself. The decree sparked centuries of cat-killing sprees. Ironically, this may have contributed to spreading the plague later. Fewer cats meant more rats carrying disease. 18. The first alarm clocks only rang once. The earliest mechanical alarm clocks from the 15th century could ring only at one set time. If you wanted to wake at 6 a.m., you had to rebuild the mechanism daily. It wasn't until the 19th century that adjustable alarms became common, a slow evolution for one of history's simplest inventions. 19. The origin of Saved by the Bell. The phrase "saved by the bell" actually comes from a real fear of being buried alive. In the 18th century, safety coffins included a string tied to the deceased's hand, connected to a bell above ground. If the bell rang, gravekeepers would rush to dig the person out, hopefully in time. 20. The man who survived both atomic bombs. Tsutomu Yamaguchi was in Hiroshima when the first atomic bomb hit, then traveled home to Nagasaki, only to experience the second. He survived both blasts and lived to age 93. His story is one of history's most haunting testaments to human endurance. 21. The ice cream connection to World War II. During World War II, the U.S. Navy built floating ice cream factories to boost morale among troops. They could produce 10 gallons per minute. For soldiers far from home, a scoop of vanilla in the middle of the Pacific was a small taste of comfort and chaos. 22. The Great Fire of London ended the plague. When London burned in 1666, the flames destroyed much of the city, but also wiped out thousands of plague-carrying rats and fleas. In a grim twist that the fire that devastated London may have actually saved countless lives. Sometimes destruction brings unexpected relief. 23. The Viking, who discovered America. Centuries before Columbus, Leif Erikson, a Norse explorer, reached North America around the year 1000. He called it Vinland. Archaeologists later found Viking settlements in Newfoundland, proving the story true. It shows how often credit in history depends on who writes it. 24. George Washington's false teeth. Despite the myth, Washington's dentures weren't made of wood. They were crafted from ivory, gold, and even human teeth purchased from enslaved people. The reality is far darker than the legend, revealing how even heroes of history were shaped by their times. 25. Napoleon's shortness is a myth. Napoleon Bonaparte wasn't short. He was about 5 feet 6 inches, average for his era. British propaganda exaggerated his height to mock him. The idea stuck, becoming one of history's most enduring myths. Sometimes the strangest historical facts are the ones everyone believes. History isn't just dates and rulers. It's full of random, funny, and shocking stories that remind us how unpredictable humanity really is. Every century has its own flavor of chaos, curiosity, and humor. The bizarre facts we've explored show that people in the past were as strange, clever, and foolish as we are today. So the next time someone says history is boring, just remember, the truth can be far weirder than fiction.